And I have the real honour of introducing someone who really needs no introduction at all to most people in this room. Helen Morment, of course, founder and CEO of AMMF, Doctor of Science, advocate, campaigner, and very valued friend to many people in this room. I'd like to invite you to the stage, Helen.
Thank you very much for that really kind introduction. And a very warm welcome from me to AMMF's European Cholangiocarcinoma Conference 2025. Once again, our conference is hybrid, in person here in the UK and streamed live to our virtual delegates across the world. And all of us at AMMF are absolutely delighted and honoured to welcome as our co-chairs Rachel Guest from Scotland and Heinz-Josef Klumpen from the Netherlands, both highly respected and knowledgeable specialists from within the cholangiocarcinoma world. The cholangiocarcinoma patient is always at the heart of everything that AMMF does. And today is specifically for you, our patients and carers, when we'll be exploring the most up-to-date topics in the field of cholangiocarcinoma. I'm going to tell you briefly about the charity and our work, and a little about cholangiocarcinoma itself. But to begin with, there are a couple of questions that we are often asked, so I'm going to take this opportunity to answer them. And firstly, what do those initials AMMF mean? Well, they stem back to 2002 when the charity was founded and registered with the Charity Commission and was originally named the Helen Morement Memorial Fund. So back then, when the internet was in its infancy, there was so little awareness, virtually no information, research or specific treatment. Yet the rising incidence was already being flagged. It was Alan's wish that by sharing the information he uncovered during his 3 years with cholangiocarcinoma, it would help others. And that was the spark that led to the formation of a charity founded in his name, and which was the world's first charity dedicated solely to cholangiocarcinoma. I should mention that Alan was my husband. From that beginning, we had a working title using the initials of those words, AMMF. And so today, the charity is officially known as AMMF, the Cholangiocarcinoma Charity. And we're also asked, what are the reasons behind the colour purple? Well, when AMMF was founded in 2002, it was long before individual colours became commonly linked to specific cancers. The purple became our defining colour. Selected for symbolisms of bravery and wisdom, and its ability to promote awareness and peace, it felt like the right choice then, and it remains just as meaningful to us today. So a little more about the charity. When we began, we had 3 aims: to raise the awareness of cholangiocarcinoma, to provide information and support, and to encourage and fund research. And those aims remain the cornerstone of our work today. So let's just have a very brief look at what cholangiocarcinoma is. So also known as bile duct cancer, cholangiocarcinoma is one of the biliary tract cancers. The others are gallbladder cancer and ampullary cancer. And it's important to know that there are 3 anatomical variations of cholangiocarcinoma. The subtypes are intrahepatic, when it happens in the ducts inside the liver, hilar or perihilar, when it happens at the confluence of the main ducts as they join together, leaving the liver and become the common bile duct, which goes down to the intestines, and extrahepatic or distal, and that happens anywhere along the common bile duct from the cystic duct down. So what do we know about cholangiocarcinoma? Over the years, as we worked for improvements in the recognition of this cancer and in the care of those diagnosed, we realized that a barrier to achieving this was the lack of robust data to support the lived experiences we were witnessing. So that's why, back in 2018, AMMF commissioned and funded a first-of-its-kind cholangiocarcinoma data project from within Public Health England, and later with Health Data Insight, in collaboration with partners at Imperial College London. And data from some 50,000 patients with biliary tract cancers from 2001 to 2018 were used. And when this work was completed and published in 2023, the findings served to confirm what we knew. Incidence is increasing year on year. Cholangiocarcinoma is a growing untargeted problem. More younger people are being affected. Over 20% of patients were under 65 years old when diagnosed, and we believe that percentage is increasing year on year, and survival rate is appalling. Mortality is parallel to incidence. But the work also uncovered some very concerning facts we weren't aware of, including over half of those diagnosed with cholangiocarcinoma receive none of the treatments currently available for this cancer. No stenting, no surgery, no chemotherapy. And there's geographical variation in routes to diagnosis and treatment, and also in incidence. And although these findings are for England only, we have no reason to believe it's any different in the other countries of the UK, nor actually in any of the other European countries. So backed by the findings of our data project, AMMF went on to launch the Rethink Liver Cancer campaign in 2024, asking that cholangiocarcinoma is fully recognised as a primary liver cancer, and to raise public and professional awareness of cholangiocarcinoma regionally and nationally, and particularly within the planning of health policy, we produced a white paper which was launched at a Westminster reception we held during February last year, asking that those within government and the health service who have the power to make change begin to ensure that those with this challenging cancer receive better and more equitable care than currently. However, despite all this work, there remains a lack of awareness and considerable inequality. So this year we pushed the Rethink Liver Cancer campaign further with our Faces of Cholangiocarcinoma 2025 project, asking for a fairer deal faster for all diagnosed with cholangiocarcinoma. We were fortunate that Rankin, the celebrity photographer, donated his time to photograph an impressive group of people for AMMF, all with one thing in common. They've each been diagnosed with cholangiocarcinoma. Each one of their stories illustrates the need for far more recognition and awareness of this cancer at every level from primary care up, and each one illustrates how access to the right specialists and treatment has enabled them to live life as fully as possible after their diagnosis. AMMF returned to Westminster in February this year to ask for a fairer deal faster. And the campaign built around these very special people, we have achieved more media coverage and through that more awareness than we've ever seen before, and this is ongoing. So looking now at some of the ways AMMF supports patients, we have a comprehensive website. This has evolved over the years to become a one-stop shop with complete information on every aspect of cholangiocarcinoma, including clinical trials open and recruiting, and access to downloadable resources. But AMMF is committed to supporting not only those in the UK, but also European cholangiocarcinoma patients through greater access to the information, resources, and support they deserve. So we have a European website which is now available in 8 languages. We also have private discussion groups focused on those in the UK and Europe, but increasingly used by people from all over the globe. These groups, moderated by those with first-hand experience of cholangiocarcinoma, provide enormous support to those working their way through the many difficulties and challenges they're faced with. We have a growing number of informative resources which are available in hard copy or to download via AMMF's website, including treatment regimes, questions to ask the doctor, nutrition, and molecular profiling. With the rise in incidence of cholangiocarcinoma and the advent of targeted therapies in its management, molecular profiling is becoming increasingly important. Our resources now include an informative booklet and a video, and these are available to both patients and healthcare professionals. Currently, we supply all our resources to our growing UK network of clinical nurse specialists, and we're delighted to be holding a Royal College of Nursing accredited study day here today, so you may well come across some of our lovely nurses. It may seem that we've come a long way in that we now have the cold, hard data, that robust data we have long needed. And we may be being listened to by those in the NHS and the government who can make policy change. But unfortunately, the widely held perception of cholangiocarcinoma being a cancer of low incidence continues. And with it, the lack of awareness, which leads to many people not getting the care that they should. So at AMMF, the work goes on towards raising awareness and for more equitable care and treatment for all diagnosed with cholangiocarcinoma. Next on our agenda is a reception at Holyrood in June. This is the heart of the Scottish Government, where we'll be asking for a fairer deal faster for all cholangiocarcinoma patients in Scotland. And we're also working towards a time when all patients have their case discussed by a multidisciplinary specialist team experienced in the care of those with cholangiocarcinoma. And together with a group of specialists, we're building a case for centres of cholangiocarcinoma expertise, so all patients will receive the best possible care, advice and treatment for their particular situation, and then they and their loved ones can have complete confidence that this is so. Thank you.